So, this right here is probably one of my favorite episodes of the podcast. I just realized how dirty my glasses are. Let's get those out the shot. This was an episode where I tried to convince my mom to like weed. So we smoked with her and her best friend who used a fake name because they didn't want to get in trouble with their job and stuff. I don't remember what their fake name is, and I won't say their real name now. It's irrelevant. This, hit an emotional chord because this was back when my mom was alive, and I love having this little time capsule of her voice. It's a very sweet episode. It's very funny. She hands me my ass multiple times, and I think that's something we can all enjoy.
You may love a thing that I can't stand. Spiders, tofu, watching Homeland. Our interests are all varying. It's fun to be contrarian. But I'll try things that you all love to see if I can rise above. But maybe there's a chance that I just won't. So in that case, don't mind if I don't.
Welcome to Don't Mind If I Don't. Hey, I'm your host, Aaron Gold. This is generally the show where I don't like things, and fans and experts come on and convince me why I am wrong, so I can, broaden my horizons and expand a little bit. However, today we are flipping the script again. This is Do Mind If I Do, where myself and an expert try and convince somebody else to enjoy the thing that I like. Or an expert and me, as the guest of honor was cringing at, because our guest of honor is very special today. We're going to be trying to convince her to like marijuana, which is a big step for someone who is both an editor, a former English instructor, and my mom. Welcome, Jane. Hi, Mom.
Hi, Aaron.
Joining Mom and me is...
It's Mrs. Mom to you.
Really? I'm already that low on the list?
You have no idea.
Joining us is a former substance abuse professional and my mom's best friend, Joanna.
Hi, Aaron.
Hi, Joanna. How's it going?
Not bad. Gonna be better before the evening's over, you tell me.
Absolutely. So generally, everything that comes through on this show gets weighted on a scale of 0 to 10. 0 is my ambivalence. 10 is just blood-curdling hatred. Mom, marijuana, how do you feel about it?
0.
You're just totally ambivalent.
Completely.
Okay.
Shall I explain that?
Please do.
Okay. I have absolutely nothing against marijuana as a concept. Anybody who wants to have it should have it. If you can enjoy it, great. It has never done anything for me. I'm not against it. Let me modify that. Wait a second. The one time I remember getting high, I didn't particularly like it because I didn't like hearing my voice come at me from across the room. But I have nothing against it philosophically.
Okay, so it's just not for you.
It's not for me. It doesn't do anything for me.
And see, now, all right, I have stake in this just because if I can convince you to like marijuana, then we can bond on a whole new level.
I thought we were bonding over JD.
We bond over whiskey and scotch as well, but, this is a whole other new level. Also, just in case you're listening and you're curious, I assure you this is recorded over the holidays. We are recording this in a state where marijuana is legal recreationally. And if you're wondering which state, don't worry about it. Okay.
State of mind.
Yeah, that's what counts. We've all taken a little bit of pot brownie. We've all had a gummy. Actually, I did not have a gummy. No.
I didn't have a gummy.
No, but Mom had a gummy.
And a brownie. I have a brownie.
I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
So, Joanna, maybe explain your background with marijuana.
Well, I'm a child of the 60s, so I think like most people in the 60s, we smoked a little bit and even inhaled. And then I smoked a lot in the early 80s. And then I didn't again for quite a while during my career as a professional counselor and substance abuse professional. And just when it became legal and we were able to get edibles, I started dabbling in it again.
And your opinion?
My opinion is that I really enjoy it and that it could be dangerous for some people.
Okay, I want to talk about that in a little bit because I've the people that I've known that have been addicted to marijuana is precisely like one. And that's because they had a very addictive personality. It wasn't about the marijuana. It was about their own abilities and lack of self-control and just addictive personalities. So, Mom, you have no political lean towards or against marijuana. You think if people like it, they can have it. It's fine.
Mm-hmm.
It's just your personal taste.
All right.
Okay, cool. I have right here, we have a multiple accoutrements that we shall all be enjoying. This is a vape pen. It's very light on your throat. You're smoking a marijuana vapor. I'm also not like the most knowledgeable on weed. Like there's probably at least a couple listeners who are raving and know so many more facts, but I wanted to keep this nice and intimate. So Mom, to enjoy this, just press the button and then pull.
The magic button.
The magic button. Yeah.
That button.
Yeah. The only
What do you
button
mean by
that is
pull?
there.
You mean suck in?
Yes. As you push the button, it should light up, and then you just suck in through the little pen.
And how
And
long
try
do
to
I
hold
suck?
it in your lungs.
Why don't you just a couple of seconds? You know, we'll start you off light. It looks like she's playing a tiny little flute. Yeah. Hold it for a sec, and then when you're ready, release.
Okay, I know there's no visual here, but Jane has just exhaled.
She has. I'm gonna enjoy some of this myself. So Joanna, you okay, Mom? Have some water.
Like you care.
I do care. I love you. I thank you for everything you have done for me. You are a wonderful person. I love you.
All right.
This is going to be the recorded will and testament of me being out of her will.
There are tigers that need to be accounted for.
And by that you mean donating to animal shelters and such. Now, I was thinking about this, and I think like the worst way to go about getting someone to like marijuana is constantly asking them, "Are you high? Do you feel it yet?"
Feel it there.
You feel it in your chest?
Yes, I feel it in my throat.
Oh, well, have some more water. That's there for you.
I know.
And if you want more, you can always pull more. But I feel like you've had.
Can I have a drink?
Of you want some JD?
No.
Let's wait till we get like at least 15 minutes into the podcast,
Okay.
and then and this is only because I want to keep this straight. Your feelings on weed.
All right.
I think part of the problem was you said you heard your voice coming from across the room
Right.
when you were younger. Well, there are two main strains of marijuana, indica and sativa. So the difference between indica and indica is more of a body feeling and sativa is more of a head high. So what you smoked was probably sativa, where it kind of like changed the way you think, whereas an indica would be more about just relaxing your body, just feeling comfortable, sitting in a nice couch and not wanting to get up for a while.
But see, I can do that without
So can I.
an external
I
substance.
know. I'm not saying like this is the be all end all. It's just something to enjoy along with.
Okay.
Speaking of which, Joanna has provided a spliff from or a blunt from Colorado. This is Colorado level stuff here.
And I think Aaron was surprised that his mom's friend had good weed.
I think Aaron was definitely surprised that his mom's friend had good weed because
His mom has very cool friends.
he's got a very cool mom. Like, you are... Listen, not a lot of moms and moms' friends would sit down with their kid and smoke weed on a podcast with them. Let alone let that be, the focus of the podcast.
Now, wait a
Those are
second.
very cool.
What about that you promised to destroy the tape as soon as this was finished?
Yeah, this is just for me. Don't worry about
Okay.
it.
Okay, no problem.
What's for you?
Nothing. Don't worry about it, Mom. So, go into your background as a substance counselor, Joanna.
Well, actually, I was a substance abuse professional, which when they made that title, they didn't realize that it would abbreviate to SAP. But to take something boring and try to say it quickly, it's for the federal regulation that employees in hazardous positions, Department of Transportation, pipeline, things that blow up or crash, need to maintain a drug-free workplace. And I had gone through the training and the education to be one of the people who would talk to the employees and help them determine if they had a problem and then get them into the right direction with the goal of protecting the public from any impaired person.
Now, how high did marijuana rank on the list of stuff to look out for?
Well, there wasn't really a priority, but what's interesting is that marijuana stays in your bloodstream way longer than anything else. So
really?
For a regular user, it can stay in your bloodstream. I believe this is true. It was a while ago, but up to 30 days. So we would have employees who would go on a 2-week vacation, maybe who didn't smoke, because they knew what type of job they were in. They'd come back from vacation, having smoked on vacation, and then get a random drug test, and they would test positive.
Ooh, what would happen to them?
One of the things that I tried to do was to let people know that. Once you test positive, there are some organizations where when you test positive, you're terminated. And there are some that when you test positive, if you go through treatment that is then, that actually a substance abuse professional signs off on, then you get another chance at your job as long as you're following through with your aftercare.
Is that still the case? With the loosening of laws on things?
But you can make something legal, but that doesn't mean that somebody who's operating a subway or...
True. Yeah.
When I have been arrested once in my life. You know.
Oh, yes, I do.
Yeah. Oh, man. If this cat stays around, Sophie, you're going to get a little bit of a contact. I had just celebrated the end of my UCB internship at the Upright Citizens Brigade, and I had purchased some weed for myself and for my roommate. So I had both of our weed on me, and before I got home, I thought I'd celebrate a little bit.
On the street.
Outside of a bar.
On the street.
And a hand came up, and it was a cop hand, and they took it from me, and then they patted me down and found the weed I bought for my roommate, and they were like, well, you are arrested. So I spent the night in lockout, but marijuana became decriminalized in New York literally a week later. So, thanks, concept of time.
Yeah. There I was, sleeping peacefully, when the police called at 2 a.m, and they said, we have somebody who'd like to speak with you.
And you said?
Oh, shit.
And I'm sure she did.
So you've smoked with me in the past before, Mom, and every time you didn't feel it, but we were also drinking and just hanging out. For the listener, I've got the coolest mom ever, hands down. She's making faces at me that she doesn't realize won't translate to this audio medium.
Yes, I do.
Oh, so this is just for me then?
Yes, of course.
All right, well, this will all be probably edited out.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I've just got a really cool mom who's willing to do this stuff. Okay. I'm going to get real now, because you've said you're comfortable talking about this. Mm-hmm. You're currently undergoing chemotherapy. Mm-hmm. And is marijuana is marijuana as relevant in chemotherapy as the movies all make it out to be?
Not for me, but that doesn't mean that's not for other people. Before my chemotherapy, I get an anti-nausea drug, and I'm fine, and I have no pain, and I've never needed it. That doesn't mean that it's not relevant for other people.
Okay. All right. Yeah, see, I can't even say that marijuana would help you with the pain management if you're already...
Well, I don't have any pain at this point. Now, somewhere down the line, the likelihood is that I will. But for that also, and then there are pain meds, mm-hmm. and what have you. To whatever extent it will make me feel better later on, I don't know. But so far, I'm generally fine, and the chemo hasn't had any adverse effects on me that the marijuana is going to help. Basically, it's not going to bring back my taste buds or my hair. So, screw it.
All right, screw it.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. I think deep down, part of me just wanted to, like, I don't know how to help.
You can't, I mean, you can help by just being you and being there for me. That's how you help.
All right.
Okay.
Okay. I love you very, very much.
I love you very, very much. So don't get arrested again, though.
I won't. Well, I mean, it's been decriminalized, so the
Well,
chances are low.
Yeah, but you have a way. I know you'll find a way. There's a way to be found. You'll find it.
I'm a persistent, clever boy.
I know. We didn't call you shit for brains for nothing.
Who's we?
Well, me, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, for those following at home, I don't know if Erin said that Janice had a brownie and a gummy.
Mm-hmm.
And it sounds to me, because I know Jane, like that's like it's having an effect on her.
Go fuck yourself.
No,
Okay,
wait,
now-
hold on. Yeah,
Now,
go
wait,
ahead, Rachel.
strangely enough, that's not a sign that that's affecting her, because she would say that completely sober. But you do sound.
I'm having fun with my child. This is me. This is the normal me.
No, wait, hold on. Just
Oh,
because.
God.
No.
What?
Okay.
What?
When we have smoked before,
Yes.
there have been times when I noticed your behavior was slightly altered. It is not a bad thing. I'm just noticing, like, yeah, I think mom might be a little bit high. Is it possible that you have felt it, or it has affected you without you totally noticing?
Is it possible? Do you? All right. You've seen me when I'm kidding around and everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
You think that this is different?
Well, see,
when I joke with him,
I think we asked the wrong question. Because
Okay.
the question wouldn't be, do you feel? The question would have been to ask before we started talking about this, so how are you feeling? And if you say,
I feel
Jim,
normal. I feel normal.
Yeah.
I do. And the other times when we've done this, by the way, you do know that I was drinking on the side.
I know. That's why.
So, all right. But, and I don't really feel that alcohol makes me high either.
Well,
If anything,
it literally cannot.
right. So it, basically just unwinds the nerves.
Yeah.
Okay, so you said that you feel normal, but in a
Yes.
normal feeling, like sometimes I'll feel better, sometimes I'll feel worse.
I don't
sometimes
feel,
I'll
I don't
really
feel, I
good.
don't feel, I feel normal.
So I think Erin is wondering if you sometimes do feel good. It's like, I don't know if it's
Feel
affecting
good?
me, but boy,
I don't know when the
I'm in a
last
really
time was
good
that I
mood.
felt good.
I'm in a really good mood.
Mood. A good mood.
And
I'm in an
Did it
okay
be the
mood. I'm not in a
marijuana?
great mood.
Okay.
I'm in an okay mood.
Okay.
But, I mean, who's in a great mood? It's Christmas.
Oh, God damn, we are so Jewish. This is, we don't have a Christmas tradition, really, do we?
Chinese food.
Chinese food. That stereotype is true because we want it to be true. Because
Well, we
it's
have
delightful.
also we've given presents. We give presents. Right, because it's a lot cheaper for me to give you presents on Christmas than it is for Hanukkah.
That's true.
Yes.
That's a solid ratio in your favor, and I ain't going to fight it.
Okay.
it also means that you don't have to make the turkey. You just,
Well, make the turkey.
you just call it a Chinese restaurant.
Like I've made a turkey. Okay. We don't have to have cereal.
What?
Nothing.
Yeah, I didn't get that reference either.
Okay.
Uh,
Never mind.
All right. So Rachel, all right. I'm going to edit
Joanna.
that out. I know. This, I promise you, I'll let you hear the cut before I air it. So Joanna, when you smoke weed, what do you tend to feel? What do you like to do when you get high?
Well, it's really funny because there's euphoric recall. So there's a part of me that says, okay, this is legal, and I know this is the same thing, but of course it doesn't feel the way it felt 30, 35 years ago, because nothing feels the way it felt 30 or 35 years ago. I just find myself being in a good mood and feeling kind of silly.
Mom, you want another hit of the pen?
Yeah, because nothing's happening to me so far.
Sure, yeah,
Might
go
as
ahead.
well.
And pull slow. It might make you cough less. Continue, Joanna.
I lost where we were.
That'll happen.
No, I'm a very serious person, and I worry. And I worry about things. And okay, now I sound like not a penny was paid for this endorsement, but no, I do enjoy marijuana. It's not something that I would want to do regularly,
Yeah,
but it makes me. It's fun. It makes me feel.
my question is:
silly and
do you
happy.
feel any? Do you sense any difference in terms of the era between the '60s and?
Well, I mean, yeah, I think that's
And of course, there's an age relation there
right.
too.
Yeah, that's what I meant. It was it in the the '60s, the '70s. Then there was a whole sort of aura around it, and now it's kind of middle class people sitting in family rooms chewing gummies.
And does that change a sort of? I won't say perception. It's not really a perception, but it would be something that's a little bit more subtle.
Yeah, it changes the experience.
Yeah, because on one hand, we were doing something that was a little risque, a little, a little illegal, a little, and also very much being part of a crowd. And now it's just suburban.
And that makes it less enticing?
Well, it makes it less exotic, less romantic, less of an event. It's, I would imagine that for people who do it pretty regularly, it's no different from me having a glass of wine or a glass of bourbon.
That's actually, how I do it. It's
just,
I'm not someone who can smoke weed and then go do things.
Yeah.
For me, it's like end of the day, everything's done.
And you just
relax, watch some TV, and call it a night.
Because you need something to get through the news each night.
Yeah.
Well, that's a different subject.
Well,
yeah, I've got news alerts, so I get that throughout the day.
Going back to Jane, what you were saying, I thought you were going to that marijuana for people in our age group is sort of burst
which,
on
to
our
clarify to everybody, is 35.
we were
yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
I did not laugh.
Sort of burst on our consciousness with civil rights and the Vietnam War and the free speech movement and the whole hippie. And that was part of who we were. And so a big part of our identity was
This
there in
counterculture kind
marijuana.
of, yeah.
Now it's just kind of this cool thing to, like I said, enjoy occasionally. In a
Well,
family
is it
room.
even cool anymore?
Oh,
I mean,
yeah, I shouldn't have said cool. I don't know why I said cool.
I think
It's fun.
Yeah, it's fun. I think it's is it cool? It's cool if it's not your entire thing. Like if you're somebody who is just like 420 and like you have like a lot of marijuana posters on your wall and it's all you talk about and you're stoned all the time, then no, it's not cool. But if it's just something you do socially or just unwind at the end of the day, yeah.
Well, do you think some of the
Or
appeal is
whatever.
going out as it's becoming more legalized?
No, I think it's I think it's not as big a deal now. I think if somebody
Oh, it
has it at a
certainly
party-
isn't.
Yeah.
It certainly isn't. But I
That's-
wonder if that also takes away some of the appeal or the enticement.
I mean,
I don't think it does.
Yeah.
I don't see as a kid why, they don't know that, for us it's LBJ and all of that. It's like their older brother's friend has this stuff and do they want to try it? Because even where it's legal, that doesn't mean, a 12-year-old can go in
And just to
buy it.
clarify, LBJ, that's LeBron James?
We were very against him.
Okay. Ooh.
But he looks better in retrospect.
Looks whiter in retrospect.
That I'm going to edit out.
But part of my ambivalence about the whole subject of marijuana is that the easier it is to get, the easier it is going to be. It would be like smoking, where all of a sudden everybody smoked. But the big thing was that kids would do it more if it's legal, simply because they have the opportunity.
How is that different from alcohol?
It's not.
Yeah, I think that
It's,
if you're...
It's not. It's not exactly this. It's just the same. But I think marijuana does things to an adolescent brain, a developing brain. I think it does things that are more insidious.
Than alcohol?
Really? So
Who developed it?
what age do you feel like would be the best? I just
Certainly
hit my
not
own
30.
mic. 29.
So what age is it that we're talking about?
I've got a couple more months before. Woof. I'm probably going to leave that in. What age, Joanna, do you think would be the best age for someone to enjoy marijuana? Like if drinking is 21, then what's...
65.
Oh, come on now.
Okay, well, it makes sense to me that marijuana would be classified, not necessarily classified, but treated the same as alcohol. And that when you're old enough to go and legally purchase a drink, you're old enough to go and legally purchase a marijuana product.
But marijuana doesn't affect you in a sensory way the way alcohol will, does it? Or does it?
Sensory, yes. Different, though. Like, I think it also does different things for different people. Like, for me,
Probably.
right now, I'm at the comfortable level where I know that if I do too much more, I'd not be social.
What would you be? What would happen?
I just really get in my thoughts a lot.
You become introspective.
Yes. I'd be very introspective.
So you don't get high, you get sort of intense and internal.
I mean, it can still be, yeah, sometimes, but sometimes it's nice to just think. You know, sometimes it's nice to overanalyze your favorite TV
But
show.
is that also, does that have to do with the two different types of marijuana you talked about earlier?
I think so. I tend to go for the more heady stuff. Yeah, but I think
And what are we having right now?
I think it's
What is
kind
it?
of a mixture, but more leaning towards body. It's a mixture of a couple of things that we've had.
You remember the time
Because you got a brownie, a
at
gummy,
my sister's when you and their friend basically went off giggling into the sunset.
You mean 2 Thanksgivings ago?
Yeah, or I don't remember when it was, but really, and the three of us, my sister and her husband and I, sat there really not knowing what the two of you were laughing your heads off at, and feeling somewhat out of the loop. But you were high, you were happy, the two of you.
Yeah. And I'm sorry that we made you feel out of the loop.
No, you didn't really. We felt that you were the ones who were out of the loop, actually.
Ooh. I mean, I can understand that. But to us, it was just...
No, it's just that
It's
you're sitting
Thanksgiving.
there giggling at everything, and we can't
We're
quite
giggling
figure
at
out.
everything.
You were
They were.
you
the
were pretty
amateurs.
loopy, but we did. It wasn't really fun. I mean, and because my brother-in-law was falling face down into a soup, which was another thing entirely.
Yeah. Well, Again, sorry.
I don't know what to say. No, but I guess the point I'm
Watch
making
your
is
fit,
that whatever,
don't
yeah,
let your foot hit the
whatever
concrete.
you know, that made you very high and happy.
Yeah.
The two of you, which is, I imagine, different from whatever it is we have right now.
I think it's might be slightly different, but I think what has to do with it more is atmosphere. Because to her friend, she hadn't done it in a while, and you know, I'm not really someone who changes who I am person to person. So like, I find it very. I'll fuck it. This is a bad line of thought. Anyway, I think it was more about atmosphere. Just, you know, to her it was a little bit of a rarity to do it, and so it was a little more fun for her, and that kind of energy infected me, and so we were giggling. Here we're having a calm discussion. Everybody's sitting down on couches. We're comfy. You know, I think it's more chill atmosphere right now.
Do you notice any sort of difference in Joanna's demeanor and mine?
Joanna seems to... I don't know Joanna nearly as well as you do, so it's hard to say. I think she... I part of me wants to say more relaxed, but you already seem pretty relaxed. This is your home. And
Yeah, but no, I feel very high. That's a silly thing to say.
No, it's not.
But you don't sound it, or I don't see anything in you that would tell me, you know, from the external that you are.
Do I seem high?
You're always bad shit.
Oh, so then the answer is no.
Hold on 1 second. I am not. Yes, I'm always batshit, but that I am not always high.
Okay.
That's not.
So she's saying she can't tell the difference between ordinary batshit and high batshit.
That's true.
Fair enough. Or
Which is
you
like
just,
you know.
let's just refer to me as a person. You know, that'd be nice.
No, but we're talking about what you can see in somebody's demeanor. Are you aware of somebody?
Yeah, no, I don't really see anything different right now in you.
Right
Apart
now,
from your enthusiasm in what you're doing, because you enjoy doing this, and this is your thing. So there's a certain amount of, you know, involvement and enthusiasm, and
yeah, I'm having fun.
yeah, and snap out of it.
No, but seriously, thank you for doing this episode. I wanted to do this for a little bit, and I'm happy that you agreed. And Joanna, thank you so much for opening up your home for this and for joining me.
It was an interesting experience.
Well, we're not done yet.
Okay.
I could see how that sounded like a wrap up. No,
Yeah.
we're not done yet. We're only like a half hour in. Well, a little bit more. A little bit more.
Okay. Okay, well, in that case, I want to wind way back to where, Jane, you said something about being altered by alcohol versus being altered by marijuana.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes it seems like we can see the alcohol alteration more than, like we said, you can't tell if somebody's stoned. But using marijuana and driving is every bit as dangerous as using alcohol and driving.
Let me
Your
just have you for a
perceptions
moment.
are different. They're just differently different.
You just said somebody who is stoned, which I think is probably a large, not much more extreme than somebody who's just high. Somebody who's high can be feeling happy and yet not necessarily be impaired, I would think. Somebody who's stoned, I would assume, should not get behind the wheel of a car.
I don't think I was drawing a distinction so much. I'm saying that...
I wonder if that is a distinction.
I think that if you are impaired at all, you should not be driving. I do not think driving while high is as dangerous as driving while drunk, but I do think it is dangerous. I think it should not be done. I just think it's like... I
think it may be a thing of impairment, a degree of impairment.
I think regardless, you are impaired.
The
Don't drive.
perception is there.
Is there a difference between high and stoned? Any kind of a substantive difference in terms of.
I guess I didn't think of it as like tipsy versus strong.
Yeah, I think this high and stoned are the same thing. I think
Because I think of people, on television or any kind of, the cliche of somebody who's a stoner.
Yeah,
And-
I'm so stoned.
Okay, so that's going
Yeah.
from
That's
I was probably reverting to the language of my
and
teenagehood.
and that character is the time when it's not really cool. But just because, if you're obsessed with anything, it's probably not great, especially if it impairs your judgment. That's a personal opinion, but the fuck do I know? I'm the youngest person.
It's pretty much true, though. It is.
You brought up I'm trying to remember what my point was. What did you?
See, that is one thing that can make conversation difficult.
Yeah,
It's like,
a little bit.
I just had the most brilliant, life-changing insight, and it was about whatever we were just talking about a minute before.
What was the point that you had brought up? Can you just?
That being a little bit, having indulged in marijuana a little bit is like having indulged in alcohol.
Okay.
Alcohol a little bit. And so it's a case of degree. And I think maybe some people can feel like, well, I know if I've had a certain amount to drink, then I'm dangerous to get behind the wheel. But having used marijuana, I'm not impaired.
But then again, aren't we also looking at which of the types of marijuana you're talking about? And if it's the sort of thing that really is just affecting your body and it doesn't affect your mind, would it?
I mean, your reactions.
Reaction time.
I mean,
Yeah,
listen,
that's
I'm
true.
I'm not.
That's
Who am
true.
I to judge? Some people might have. I don't know. Who use it medicinally might need it to let them function in the world. I don't know.
No, that's true.
No, that's true. Of course,
yeah.
Right.
that's true.
Yeah.
For me, I've used it as a treatment for depression and anxiety when getting over the counter medicine was a bit more difficult. So that was my main application of it, and also just fun. But I wouldn't say that I personally would ever need it to drive. I think I'm better driver without it.
Oh, I don't think anybody needs it to drive. I would hope not.
You didn't mean that, I don't think. You didn't mean
Needed
you
to
wouldn't
drive.
need it to drive.
No. I think that I think drive was a bad example. I think people that need it to function and kind of get out of the house and be,
Sure.
a member of society. So I think my point is that it has different applications for different people. And for some people, it affects them in different ways. For everybody, it affects everyone in different ways.
I'm just going to give it another shot because nothing's happening yet.
Okay. If you want, we can try something else. I made a pipe out of a Diet Coke can in true stoner fashion. Not that I'm a stoner, but it's something that I picked up in
I
college.
think I tried that once, didn't I?
Possibly.
When you and your friend had visited us.
Possibly.
Okay, and that's interesting because I think you actually have had more marijuana than I have because you had the.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I feel very altered.
I feel altered as well. Do you really feel absolutely no difference in your feeling? Like, I feel a little tingly. I did more recently.
The only thing I feel, and I don't know if I was feeling, I've sort of been feeling it for the last few days, is a kind of the sort of stuffiness in your head that you might feel after a long night of drinking, which I had like 3 nights ago, or 2 nights ago, whenever, I can't remember. Well, yeah, 3 and 2 nights ago. And there is still something.
I feel like we're painting you as a lush, and you're not. Like, we are on vacation. Like, I just want to drive that point home.
No, this is true.
Yeah, yeah.
This is true. I generally don't start before 8 o'clock
Yeah.
at night.
Important distinction.
Okay, and I have to say, as a substance abuse professional, although no longer current, looking at what time you start drinking is not usually a good sign.
I don't know about that.
I don't know about that either.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know.
I mean, you are the professional, but I'm in denial. So
But I just,
take that.
all I feel right now, there's a sort of cottony feeling in my head. And that's about it.
Did you know that cotton is a term often applied to weed? You're shooting me a
A
look.
stunned silence falls on the crowd.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's often more referred to, God, I am the whitest person on earth. It's referred to as like when you blow a smoke and like, oh, look, it looks like cotton. Cotton.
But Jane, weren't you saying that you'd felt like this for a few days?
Yeah.
So what we're looking for is there anything that you've started feeling?
No, I don't feel any different right now. I don't think I do. I'm not conscious of anything than I did before. And the reason I just mentioned that feeling in my head is because it is something that is not quite the norm for me, although it has been for the last few days. But generally, yeah, so I don't feel any different. I feel normal. Which is why I've had 3, what do you call them, tokes?
Yes.
Okay.
Tokes or pulls.
Or what? Or pulls. I had 3
We
pulls
were
on
very
that, and I'm
cool
still
back
waiting for, to...
So I think that,
Let me interject really quick. You are both very cool right now, and everybody listening to this knows it. Please continue, Joanna.
Wait, it was a brilliant insight. And it had to do with something that,
So sorry.
oh, okay. No, I think the conclusion that I draw is that Jane, I don't know what you call it in science, but we're going to take the hypothesis that Jane feels no response to marijuana.
The hypothesis.
Okay. Then the next thing I would do is I would go do some research. I don't know whether maybe a certain percentage of the population has been shown to be non-responsive.
There is a percentage of the feline population
Okay.
that does not react to catnip.
I was thinking that, but I didn't want to say it since.
Well, I did.
Yes, but
I thought it was important to point that out.
Yeah.
Because
and so I think that
there are cats that can drink and drive.
Tunsis? Wow,
So Aaron,
Sophie, right on cue.
Aaron, unless you have a big enough staff that you can send one of your minions back to look it up while we continue the podcast, we would have to actually go away and do research, because if it's shown that 28% of the population it has no effect on, then, Aaron, there's your answer. If it turns out that it affects everybody, then we'd have to assume that it affected Jane.
But
But
that's
I
true.
get it.
I'll Google it right now.
Are there people who are unaffected by marijuana, maybe?
Are there certain drugs that just don't affect certain people? Where they would affect, most people? People who somehow are immune or just not responsive to a certain drug or
certainly
stimulant?
some drugs work differently on different people, which I think is, that's what you just
Well,
said.
they work differently, and if you think of it in terms of a continuum, conceivably, there would be people for whom it just didn't have any effect at all.
Any perceptible effect. Well, let me ask, do you feel, I feel very relaxed.
Well, I was feeling sort of relaxed anyway. I mean, I had felt anxiety at 2 or 3 different points in the day. The anxiety I was feeling earlier went away at dinner. So it could have had something to do with eating. Or drinking, which I had some wine with dinner. I've been feeling fine. I don't feel anxious. It's conceivable. I will say this, Aaron. It is conceivable that when I stand up, I might all of a sudden be overcome by a sense of dizziness. May or may not happen. And if it did happen, I would not consider it a plus.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
That would not be then something worth pursuing.
I wouldn't. No.
Thankfully, we are safe, and you are very close to...
my drink?
Very, very soon. I'm looking, and I'm not seeing a lot of influence or a lot of articles
what about putting in just typing in people unresponsive to marijuana?
I have marijuana unaffected Googled right now.
Oh, okay.
Oh, but you're getting funny hits, aren't you? Because Jane, the editor, he said he was looking marijuana unaffected.
Yeah, you don't want to affect the marijuana.
You want unaffected by marijuana.
People unresponsive too. I'm a trained professional. I know this stuff.
I mean, all right, people unresponsive to marijuana. Everything I found so far is like only about, it's either forums of people asking and no one having a real answer.
Oh, that may be.
Someone posted but only about in terms of first time usage.
Yeah.
There is such a thing as reverse tolerance for first timers, but I didn't see anything about, multiple.
Okay, and it may be that maybe there haven't been any really formal studies.
Or maybe you're the Highlander.
Well, there is that possibility.
You make a badass Highlander, Mom.
You bet your ass I do.
So, Erin.
Yeah, I'm finding nothing.
Okay, but no matter what you find, and it'll be fun to look it up later, Jane is not affected by marijuana. She ingested a lot of marijuana tonight.
You did.
I don't see that she was closed to the experience.
No, you gave this a full college try. You gave it your all. I thank you very, very much.
I'll have another.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well,
the only other thought I have, no, that would make you cough, so we're not going to do that.
No, we're not going to do that.
No. Yeah, I think it's safe to say, if you just had 3 different things. You had the brownie, you had the gummy, you've had multiple pulls from the pen.
4 pulls.
So,
4 pulls, yeah.
Okay, so...
All right, I guess you just don't feel any different.
So, Erin, that means that it seems to me that you kind of wanted the experience of getting high with your mom. And we've come to the conclusion, specifically here, that that's not going to happen.
At least not with marijuana.
Because she doesn't get high the same way. That's something that you wanted that you now have to say, okay, that's not going to happen.
Yeah, I think that's okay. I'm not losing anything.
No.
Does not take away from how cool you are.
And you get to use all the marijuana that she doesn't want.
That's true. I saved
It's money. A win-win.
Yeah. Thank you very, very much for doing this.
You're very
Both of you. This has been a whole lot of fun. Joanna just had another pull of the pen. The pen is very popular right now.
It's mightier than the sword.
Oh, Mom is shaking her head, but that one hit me at just the right moment.
Apparently it did.
I don't know if it got on the tape, though.
Oh, Joanna,
Okay.
You rest easy, girl. I got you. All right. Well, is there anything either of you would like to plug? I know we're keeping this relatively anonymous.
I'm an editor.
Do you want to give out your contact info? Tell you what, if someone wants to hire my mom as an editor,
they should contact
reach out to don'tmindpodcast@gmail.com.
That's right. You could be my agent. You can screen the requests.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Editing work. What are your specialties?
Everything that's nonfiction.
Everything nonfiction you can edit the shit out of.
You bet your ass I can.
All right, yeah. So hit me up, don'tmindpodcast@gmail.com for any nonfiction editing. I'll pass it along to the very talented Mom.
And then when your book is published, it can say...
edited by Mom.
Edited by Erin's mom.
I would love that. I would treasure that book forever. I would pass that out.
Okay.
All right, well, I would like to plug You Are Not Alone, an uplifting show about depression, Monday, January 15th at 10:30 p.m. at the Magnet Theater. Also, magnettheater.com. They offer classes and shows and improv, sketch, storytelling, a whole bunch of great stuff. Go check it out. You can follow us at Don't Mind Podcast, and you can follow me personally at Hey, it's Aaron Gold on all the things. Guys, thank you so... Oh, all right. So, Mom, since you started out at a 0, give it a number.
0.
All right. Well,
I'm still ambivalent.
okay. Okay. I'll take it.
But again, let me just emphasize, I'm ambivalent on a personal sensory level.
Mm-hmm.
On a political, philosophical, whatever level, I am 10 is hate.
10 is hate.
1 is
Oh,
1.
got it. It dropped. It went down.
No. What I'm saying is that in terms of, do I feel it should be legalized? Do I think that people who want to smoke it should be able to? I am completely in favor of freedom of choice to use.
So for that, that's like a negative number.
Shouldn't that be a positive number?
It should, but, we do things
okay.
weird.
So it's a negative number. But for me personally, I'm ambivalent because it doesn't really seem to affect me.
Okay. All right. Well,
Okay.
would you say that this experience, this moment in time, this fun that you and I have had together has brought it to like a negative one? Maybe like
No, I
off
think
the
it's been
scale?
very positive because I think it's fun. They're going to get you off my ass over this thing.
Okay, so it's a positive experience. So it's not ambivalent.
Now, wait a second,
It's
you haven't-
positive.
Wait, okay. I have really, really enjoyed sitting here talking like this. Okay, it's.
I'm trying to get. I'm
But
trying
are
to
you
show
saying you
some
haven't
effect.
enjoyed sitting here
Oh,
talking
no, I
like
have.
this?
I
That the
have
value
enjoyed
of
it.
talking like
but what
this has
I
been-
have enjoyed it. But the real plus for me is that he is not going to be bugging me anymore about how really, Mom, I really think you will if you try. Because
Okay, I'll stop. I
know.
promise you I will
I
stop.
know.
But let me ask you this.
But this was a very enjoyable. This was a fun thing to do.
What was doing this worth getting high? Was
you mean
doing
had
this?
I gotten high, would this have been worth it?
Yeah.
It's hard for me to say because I don't know if I would like being high.
No.
See,
I'm
I
saying-
don't
I'm
think
saying-
we understood Aaron's question.
No.
Okay.
This experience right now was doing this experience right now with Joanna and I. Was that worth or Joanna and me? I'm sorry. She's an editor. My God, it's been this my entire fucking life. I can't get away with anything. I can't get away with a goddamn thing. I can't slip up even a little bit.
You put that infinitive back where it belongs, boy.
And stop dangling your modifier at me.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Ew. Yeah, God, let's end this fucking episode. I'm just going to say
What?
You took the experience of getting high with me and Joanna and doing this episode. Was that worth having this positive experience?
Yes, it was.
Okay, so I'd say that's more than 0. That's
Yes, it
like
was.
we've gotten to positive numbers.
Okay, but I have to say one thing.
I'm going to claim a positive 1 on this.
I could have done this with
I want
one.
to say that anybody who gets a chance to be on Aaron's podcast, you really should do it because it was very, very enjoyable.
Oh, thank you so much, Joanna.
And besides, he gives
That's
that
what
free
you
pot.
wanted me to say, right?
Oh,
No,
Yes,
it really
but,
was. It's been fun.
all right. Well, guys, thank you for joining me. And this is Aaron Gold saying, keep on minding.